If I slurp and shit, I do apologise. Somehow, once again, in my sleep, I pretty much managed to chew the end of my tongue off. So I have a mouth ulcer the size of Tony Blair's lies. That's a pretty fucking big mouth ulcer. And I just want to say quickly, Bonjela, I call bollocks. You do absolutely fuck all. In fact, if you have a mouth ulcer the size that I do, I say I say self-medicate. Anyway, sorry, random tangents aside. Longboys Post 1975. There's a question down there. Oh, this question's going to make me feel really, really old. But, you know, let's have a good nostalgic waffle. Do you remember life before Amazon? Do you remember buying games in the mail, specifically, I should say, before Amazon? I was talking to a kiddie at work this morning, either. And he was complaining about Amazon, and the game he ordered arrived a week late. And don't get me wrong, you know, I like Amazon, I really, really do. It's convenient, it's cheap, but it's like any service, it's not without its faults. I remember when I ordered Black Ops 2 on the 360, and it didn't show up for a week. In fact, I got bored waiting for it, so I went and bought a copy, then waited for my copy, and then sent that copy back, but got sent another copy anyway, and, well, win. Anyway, sorry, waffling again. Yeah, and as I said, any service like, you know, Amazon, they're not perfect, you know. Oh, Amazon, by the way, you're another bunch of people who don't pay enough of your UK income tax. Sorry. Yeah, anything like that's not, you know, perfect. There will always be inherent, you know, flaws with things like this due to the, you know, the size of their infrastructure and stuff. But more often than not, I find Amazon absolutely brilliant compared to what I had to put up with when I was a lad. And I was trying to explain it to him, and he couldn't get his head around it. When I was a kid, you know, even, you know, Spectrum games were expensive, you know, when you're sort of, you know, 8, 9, 10, don't know why I give you 3 specific ages there, $7.99, $8.99 in the big whoppers, you know, $10.99. Oh, and even when you like some of the big games, $14.99 for a game in like 1987, that was absolutely ridiculous. They're expensive. So what we used to do was we used to mail order in the black and white section in the back of magazines like Crash Magazine, Sinclair User, Your Sinclair, and you would buy games that were kind of getting on to 3 or 4 months old, because these mail order firms, and I remember one called Castle, which was the one I used all the time, they would like knock a fiver off the prices and stuff. They promise you like really, really cheap games. They were divided into categories like really, really popular, you know, sort of older games and classic games. And so pretty much me and my brothers, I mean, we still bought games on the high street, more often than not when it was our birthdays or Christmas and we had money from relatives and stuff like that. Excuse me while I self-medicate. Pint tinnies, they're the future. And yeah, we still bought games in places like W. Smith and Boots and things like that, but more often than not, pretty much everything we bought was through these mail order companies, but they were an absolute bloody minefield back in the day. You know, I honestly, I must have sent off so many checks. You used to send a check, didn't you, back in the day? Oh God, I'm old. Sent so many checks to places that I ended up cancelling because you never got any correspondence from them. You never got any indication that they were going to send you your bloody game. You wrote to them and said, "Where's my bloody game?" and you never got anything back. And you just cancelled the check, and we just accepted it. And then there were the ones that, you know, they told you they shipped your game, and you paid for, you know, like first class mail, because it was either first class or second class, and then you waited anywhere up to a bloody month for the thing to arrive. I remember going to school camp, waiting for my copy of Saboteur 2 Avenging Angel on the Spectrum. Very poor sequel to the original. I should do a gameplay of the original Saboteur. Waiting, yeah, going to school camp and just thinking, it's bound to be there when I come home, it's bound to be there when I come home, it's bound to be there when I come home. When I came home, and the first thing I said when I came in the door was not, "Hi Mum, Dad, I love you," it's, "Is Saboteur 2 here?" And they were like, "No," and I went, oh. 3 weeks later, it finally arrived. It was so hit or miss. I don't know if there was anything sort of governing the quality of these firms back in the day, but yeah. And so you try one, and then they let you down, so you go to another. And I can't say, with the exception of Castle, that I used most of them more than once. And then you have the problem with and this is more sort of the problem with Ocean Software back in the day. But all the companies guaranteed it was in stock. It would say next to it, "in stock now." But yeah, games like they got in trouble, didn't they, Ocean, with Street Hawk and Knight Rider and Rambo. They advertised those games in the computer magazines like, I don't know, I shit you not, 3-4 months before they got released. So all these magazines, you know, all these black and white adverts in the back of magazines, these companies, you know, selling cheaper Spectrum games, they would promise you that it was in stock, and then they take your money, then they would cash your check, and then they would wait for Ocean to send them games to send it to you, and you'd write to them, and they just fob you off with bollocks. And then it got announced, didn't it? Was it Crash Magazine who said, Ocean have actually been forced to step down on advertising their games so soon before they came out? Because I remember, I forget what, was it Street Hawk? I wanted Street Hawk for Christmas. It was because I love Street Hawk. It only ran for one season, didn't it? And the actual bike, believe it or not, belongs to a bloke in Glasgow. If you're not old like me, that would probably mean absolutely fuck all to you. But yeah, I wanted it. I absolutely loved Street Hawk. I even had a helmet, and my dad traced in the little squares on the visor so I could pretend to be Street Hawk. I was a child, in my defence. Yeah, I had to have it. I absolutely had to have it. I think it was like a week before Christmas when they basically turned around and said, yeah, ain't coming out, you're not getting this, you know. And I think some of the screenshots or publicity shots were just even mocked up, and so my mum was frantic and ran around, you know, trying to find me something else for Christmas that year. I think it was actually Transformers related, so, you know, win-win. But yeah, basically the point I'm trying to say is, I know I've waffled really off topic and tangents, and it's mail order back in the day was an absolute minefield. So, you know, it's as much as Amazon lets us down now and then. I was trying to explain this to Kitty at work. I like Amazon. I absolutely love and adore Amazon. Why? Because it's shiny and it's fantastic, and it eliminates all the I know it's because it was, you know, the 80s, you know, early 80s back then, and obviously changes and time make a difference. But yeah, Amazon eliminated all the bollocks minefields that was basically mail ordering a game back in the day as a kid. So yeah, you know, do you remember life before Amazon, and do you have any sort of funny or annoying mail order sort of stories from when you were a kid? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.